Hello everybody, I just wanted to come and talk to you guys about the upcoming milestone assignment. This is a really big deal for your final project, so I just wanted to take some time and kind of go over it and what you should be working toward and that kind of thing. I'm just going to use a presentation that I built for something completely unrelated, but it'll serve as a template as to kind of the idea. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to upload, excuse me, your a draft of your final project to the discussion board. Okay, it doesn't have to be finished, it doesn't have to be super polished or anything like that. The point of this assignment is to get some feedback, how you can make it better, what things are strong already, that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this one, this optogenetics presentation that I did a little while ago. As you can see as I scroll through, you know, I like a pretty plain background. I actually did this for a talk that I had to do. You know, some figures, some things like that. Okay, as I'm going through this, keep in mind that if I were to do this for your assignment, there are some things that I would need to do differently. Okay, so for example, because most of this talk was using these as a support for me talking, I built it this way, but for you, everything that you need to express is going to need to be on the slides. Okay, so for example, okay, I'm going to start, this is my title. You know, maybe one thing that I can improve is add a nice graphic or something like that, add a different background to make it a little more pleasing to the eye, something like that. Okay, this is a good slide right here. It says, you know, what is optogenetics? Tells you exactly what it is. Maybe it's a little light on detail, especially for somebody who's not familiar with it. Okay, I've got a nice figure here. I could say, for example, in my feedback, hey, I really like this figure, and I especially like that you cited the image right in the presentation. This is an important thing to do for figures. Just so you guys are aware, any figure that you use in your presentation needs to be cited as well. Otherwise, it's just plagiarism, which is not good. Okay, so this is just a couple of slides again. So as I'm going through, the biggest thing that I can see is that I would need a little more explanation as to what I'm actually looking at. For example, if you're looking at this, if you've never seen this type of image before, you have no idea what you're looking at. So I would say that a suggestion would be that you need to add some text to describe what this is. Okay, so there's that aspect of it. Okay, and I could go through the whole thing, but I don't think I need to. I hope that at this point it's pretty obvious that what you're looking for when you do this is you're looking for things that can make the presentation stronger, especially in a written format like we've got. Okay. Now here's a really important thing, okay? So for example, let's say if I come back up to this slide, they say, for example, okay, I really like this, maybe put something in to describe the figure a little bit more. I'd say, okay, well, you know, one thing that I can do, for example, is let's just say that I'm going to label some things. Okay, so I'm going to say this is the hippocampus. I'm going to change the colors so you guys can see it. Let's just say I'm going to make it bold so it really pops. You know, whatever, move it wherever. Okay. In your post, in your response post specifically, you need to say, okay, based on the feedback that I've gotten, I'm going to make these changes. Okay. So for example, if you guys had given me the critique that, hey, we like the figure, but we don't know what I'm looking at, could you add some labels? I would say, okay, so I'm going to add some labels. You don't have to re-upload your presentation, but you do need to say, okay, based on the critiques that I've gotten, these are the steps that I'm going to take. And that needs to be in your response post. A lot of people miss that, so be sure that you get that in there. Okay. The other thing is that when you post your responses, you need to answer questions that people ask. Okay, one thing that people do in this milestone is that they do really well at posting the initial post and saying, hey, you know, this is great, and they do a really good job at giving feedback to other people, but in the second response post, you actually need to respond to some of your feedback. Okay, and I've said that already a couple times, but I that's the part that students always miss, that I always end up having to take points off. Okay, so be sure that you do that. If you've got any questions, of course, just drop me an email or whatever else to get in contact with me, and I'd be willing to help you. Again, I cannot emphasize that enough. This is a very critical assignment to do well on your final, so take it seriously. Get started sooner rather than later, and good luck.